Okay, so I always like to prefix the deck text for decks like this with there's a lot of ways that were introduced in Historic Horizons to build around this card. And I by no means think that this build that we're trying today is optimal or ideal. It's just one potential direction you could go in, and we got to start somewhere, so we're starting here. So this deck plays a bunch of new cards. We got Breya's Apprentice, which makes 2 artifacts. We've got Arcbound Shikari here, which is another way to put counters on everything and make them bigger. We've got the Glimmerwasp. We've got Arcbound Mouser and Arcbound Prototype. We've got Esper Sentinel, which loves when its attack gets powered up to make its taxing effect a little bit better. So this is just a linear beatdown deck, and I want to start here for our first try at some Tempered Steel. We did play a couple of games with this on stream last week, and then Magic Arena died on Friday, so I didn't have enough to post a full video with it. It felt somewhat reasonable in the first couple we tried, so we'll see if that continues today, or if we maybe want to head in a different direction with it. These mild takes do not generate clicks, Mr. Streamer. Yeah, my YouTube would do better if I clickbaited more, but this is not what I'm doing. Green, white. What green cards do we want in Tempered Steel? There's some good blue ones, for sure. Solid curve here. Oh, hardened scales, maybe. Scales is good with. I don't know that we have enough modular stuff. I think without Arcbound Ravager, that's probably not quite good enough. So many decks in this format desperately want the other fast lands. It's the part where they fatal push one and then flashback fatal push the other. Survey says they're targeted, chap. So all things considered, that could have gone much worse for us. That was technically a 2 for 2, right? Like, they took 2 of our cards out of play, but I drew a card off their spell. So, like, definitely could have gone much worse. I can't believe nurses are being required to get vaccinated. What next? Construction workers having to wear steel toes? Yeah. Hoodie Ninja, thanks for the follow. Perpetual haste, you say? Yeah, I agree, Cheesy Pictures. I would love it if they just, like, would release an anthology that was just like, this completes every land cycle in Historic. Vaccine mandates causing some healthcare providers to quit because they don't want to get vaccinated is a huge net positive for society, because healthcare providers that don't want to get vaccinated shouldn't be providing healthcare advice to people as a whole. Do we suck 3 here, or do we Overseer to try and get this going next turn? The upside to doing this turn is if I draw 5th untapped land next turn, we can do this. This is probably good enough. Can they kill enough of my stuff to make me regret attacking with this? Maybe? I draw a card unless you pay 4. Deal? Deal. Good chat. Yeah, this could... The Footfall Crater makes me think they could be Shadow. They could also just be, like, Dragon Rage Chandler looking for enchantments, though, too. Oh, I guess blocking with this means I don't gain 4. Punted. I wanted to overblock so they couldn't, like, spot remove my one thing blocking, but... yeah, that's a mistake. Hearthstone just put a gotcha game in their card game. Well, I mean, your second land priority for historic. So Win Magus, you should check out this video here where I talk through the top 5 sets for building your historic collection. Yeah, I don't know what the person there in particular was talking about. Like, card games have always been akin to gacha games. Gacha games, for those not familiar with that jargon, refers to a game where you get characters out of loot boxes. Card games are basically the original gacha games. Thanks for the follows, Steen and Co. I'll never forget the first time I did a Raid Shadow Legends sponsored stream, and I had someone really upset in my mentions that in my comments that I would promote Raid Shadow Legends on my Magic the Gathering channel. They were very upset that I would advertise a game that encourages gambling because my Magic channel is intended for children, because Magic is a children's game that doesn't involve gambling. So I know I just animated this, but I'm actually just going to go ahead and pass here, right? Because this has to attack, so we'll get to block and then eat it. Magic sells you investments. I'm going to use the Overseer on their turn. invested in some Jimmy Johns for lunch, and I think I ate all the returns. Brutal. We're gonna wait one more turn to attack. Do I technically have lethal? I don't, right? I think I want to get everything to be lethal individually before I do something. The Death Shadows are just so scary if we miscount. I think the only way we lose is if I make a bad attack, so... yeah, let's just not do that. For the follow, Dan. Is this lethal yet? This is lethal in the air, right? Good chat. Decent rate for my creature land. Pay 2, deal 8. Slightly above average. Alright, so Rest in Peace and Deccan Stone are both great here. Bomat Courier is pretty bad against their stuff that blocks. Click Submit. I don't know that I want Thalia here. They have, like, some cheap spells, but they tend to be cheap. So, like, Thalia stops them from double spelling super early, but that's about all she does. She also doesn't attack profitably into Dreadhorde Arcanist, which is kind of a downer. Hey, Justin, thanks for the 27 months. Welcome back. Good morning, good morning. Ramanap Runes. Ramanap Runes is pretty common in Indie Scout. It depends on what the rest of your... There's a limit to how many deserts you can play. So, like, for example, this deck's playing Shefet Dunes, and I'm playing Den of the Bugbear as my red utility land. So I don't want to play, like, 5+ deserts, because then you'll lose aggro matchups to Pain Lands, having too many Pain Lands in your deck. I think I want to keep Deccan Stone. Or double Deccan Stone in my opener, I mean. No one drop, but the rest of the spells are good. Right on time, 1 mana spell. Welcome to the party. There's no way the first thing we play doesn't die, right? So we'll lead on this. The Canopy lands be okay in Historic? I don't know. Canopy lands tend to not be good explicitly inside of things like Jeskai control. So from that perspective, I could see them potentially being reasonable. Yeah, they're much better for aggro than they are for everything else. Scale of 1 to dead. Dead side of the scale. Got it. This is actually a decent draw, because it means I get to go 1-drop Overseer. Oh, Hearthstone's doing a Slay the Spire type game mode. I bet that'll be very successful. Runeterra's working on one of those as well. So Hearthstone's doing it, and Runeterra's doing it. So I have to imagine we'll see it in Magic Arena in like 2030, 2031. It's weird for an Eternal format to not have all land cycles. These damn Zoomers have never registered Jund with Arid Mesa and Misty Rainforest, and it shows. Listen, back in my day, Modern only had 5 fetch lands. And I'm not going to say we liked it, because we didn't, but we tolerated it. Gosh, we only had 5 fast lands for forever too, right? Like, took us a long time to get the rest of the fast lands through. Thanks for the follow, Porteous. For people that are new to the channel, I am a paper boomer of old. Cut my teeth playing competitive Magic, largely around New Phyrexia / the original Innistrad about a decade ago. Been playing Magic casually off and on for over 2 decades. Been around the block. Am I dead? They discarded Luris, which would imply that they drew something really good. They have just a way to kill this. In the before times when there were paper tournaments, I top 8'd over a dozen SCG Open tournaments, one of their invitationals, and played in a couple of their Players' Championships. Is a fetch land like Fabled Passage. Oh, no! Oh, no, they don't even know what a fetch land is, chat. They don't even know what a fetch land is. Oh. All right, I need to sit out. Before I explain what fetch lands are, I need to sit down because my back hurts a little bit. Because I'm old. Yes, fetch lands. Fetch lands are like Fabled Passages. Scalding Tarn's a good example. This fetch lands specifically get land types and not basic lands, though. So, like, they can find, like, Scalding Tarn finds, like, Steam Vents and Sacred Foundry and stuff like that. Breeding Pool. And they can find things like Dwarven Mine in Modern. Or Triomes, yeah. Yeah, exactly that. Papa Jeff, tell us a story where people used to make illegal plays inside a tournament. But there's so many, how can I pick just one? So, fetch lands just make building mana bases very boring. It makes it very easy to make optimal mana bases regardless of what your deck looks like when fetches and shocks are legal in the same format. And I really like that Historic has not, God bless America, does not have those types of cards in it. Big sad. Big sad. we're a little bit ahead on board right now, but like we have 1 card to their 5 cards, so very likely dead. There hasn't always been a stack. Yeah, it used to be, was it batches, I believe was the technical term for what we originally had. How is the format? Well, standard for Magic is just now finally rotating, come about 2 weeks from now. Historic is somewhat reasonable. There's a lot of B and C list decks in this format that are a bit worse than the top deck, but Ladder's pretty casual, so there's a good bit of variety in what you play against. This is that Death Shadow's opponent still, so like there is some concern in dealing damage to them here before we kill them. So like it might even be wrong to be attacking them here because they're a shadow deck. Thanks for the follow, Gerverino. Hey, stay safe down there, Fiery Blade. Seen a lot of crazy stories. Am I supposed to just smack them for 9? I think I'm just supposed to smack them for 9. And like, we hope this Blinkmoth can limp us across the finish line. Runeterra is releasing a balance patch 3 days before Worlds. I mean, better late than never, I guess. It's probably better than letting the Worlds format be mediocre, but it's still not great. Card like Oath of Dreads. Yeah, maybe. Maybe not. Yeah. Honestly, one of my biggest critiques of Runeterra, and Magic does this too quite frequently to be fair, but for whatever reason, these card game people like to put their bigger tournaments in these well-established formats, and honestly, having a big shakeup before your premier tournament happens makes the premier tournament way more interesting to watch from a spectator perspective. So I would bet Runeterra's Worlds coverage will have better metrics because they shook their format up a bit as opposed to leaving it stale. It's not a terrible draw. So this can sacrifice an artifact to give something 2 attack, or let us basically kind of pseudo-draw a card. And with these modular cards, we could sacrifice these to move counters over plus give 2 attack. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like, almost all card games are unwatchable if you don't know what the card pool is. So, I think we try and kill them next turn if they attack us. So if they attack us, we'll block with the Prototype and we'll animate the Blinkmoth before Arcbound happens. Because this would be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the air next turn if they attack us. Thanks for the follow, Mike. Okay. Okay, if they attack me and don't have a removal spell, they're dead next turn. Rats. Rats! Alright, so I just passed now. Temur Battle Region format. It is not. Ember Cleave is technically legal, but they're playing Luris as their companion, so that's not a card they could have. The question is, do I want to poke them for 1 with this? I think the answer is no. I'm at 18. I'll poke them for 1. Have your 2 extra attack. It might be right to hit them with the Blinkmoth too. Yeah. Because if I hit them with the Blinkmoth as well, they'd be at 6. And then these, putting modulars onto here, would be 5, 6, potentially. It might be a right call to make their Shadow 7/7s. I have done a Witcher 3 playthrough, yes. Although I think I'm probably going to do another one of those when they release the next-gen update for PS5. It's supposed to happen this year at some point. Elliot, thanks for the follow. Yeah, the next-gen update is supposed to be getting some additional DLCs based around some content from the Netflix series, which seems sweet. So they're dead? One, two, three, four. So I animate this. We sacrifice. Until the end of your next turn, you may play that card. We sacrifice this. Man, Blinkmoth Nexus is so good. Oh, that was our Mythic matchup. That's exciting. I forgot we were on the bubble. Mythic limited rank, chat. Nice, nice. Draft champion, Hog Champ. Heck of a draft deck we have. I agree. Heck of a draft deck. That was a sweet match. Really close 3 games there. Blinkmoth coming in clutch in the 2 that we won for sure. Ever gotten Mythic and Limited before, or is this the first time? It is my first Limited Mythic. Wait, we're 284? Fancy. We entered Mythic at 284, chat. Top 500 Mythic gamer. We're officially a tryhard stream now. No more meme decks. Only Gur. After this game, we're switching to Jeskai creativity. That's all we're gonna play for the next month. So I can say this is high-level competitive Magic. Now, you could say it's a lot of things, to be fair. Listen, chat, just pretend this rank here is like putting lipstick on a pig. We're trying to dress the stream up, but you at home, you know in your heart of hearts what this really is. You know what we do here. What lurks underneath? We put a Yargle in the creativity deck. Negative. My Overseer dead? You're going to murder him? This is so incredibly rude. It was not the land I wanted for Christmas, chat. How many lands are in this deck, by the way? We got 24. Okay, we're on 24 lands. Kept 24 lands, kept the 2-lander, missed the 3rd land. Feels Magic the Gathering Man. Shout out to Untapped for providing the sick deck overlay. Oh. Which you can see there. Shows me all my things. Well, shit. I didn't say it out loud, but I thought in my brain our Mousers with their lifelink might be able to drag us kicking and screaming through this game where we're behind, but rampaging for us, that means that is no longer the case. Frostodon's a pretty reasonable main deck card right now, to be fair. A lot of people playing life gain shenanigans. They bring in our 4 removal spells. I'm going to trim these Bomat Couriers that aren't very good at attacking into their board. I split the difference and keep 14 1-drops. We'll trim a couple of 3s. Let's do... maybe we cut a couple... Maybe we cut Steel Overseers, actually. Let's do that. I'm board in a couple of Thalias. It just dies all the time, right? This at least, like, gives value when it comes into play. So I think we'll go Dead of the Bugbear into Bomat Courier here. And our Esper Sentinel on here to hopefully draw some cards. The Soul Scar stop modular. It does. Maybe? I think it does. I don't know. We'll probably find out. The question is, do the counters trade out and cancel if the thing is dying? So I know counters cancel out, but I'm not sure if they cancel out if Yeah, I thought the counters only cancel each other out if they die simultaneously. If the creature's alive. Yeah, so it deals damage in the form of minus counters, but I don't know. Yeah, I think I remember something being funky about that. I don't know. It might cancel it out, but I don't actually know. If a creature with modular gets enough -1/-1 counters to make its toughness 0 or cause the damage on it to be lethal, the modular ability will still give another artifact creature +1 counters equal to the Arcbound creature had before it got its minus counters. All right, there you go. No, modular only moves +1/+1 counters. It's not like Ozolith. Yeah, I thought I remember that coming up in Modern once upon a time. So I'm going to animate this, and then we're going to do this. And then we'll attack for 7. Came up with Hanger Backwalker as well. Yep. Yeah, good call. Yeah, because those were standard legal at the same time, right? Now, to add an extra layer of confusion to the onion, you should note that modular requires the card to die. So Scorching Dragonfire. So Scorching Dragonfire stops modular. So modular didn't happen here, not because of Soulscar Mage, but it didn't happen because this exiled it. Not just to make sure you don't confuse those two. So this is lethal, right? Yep. Patrick Mendy, thanks for the prime. I appreciate the support. Good afternoon. We've had several hurdles here, but we didn't trip that one. Yeah. Puzzled it out. Yes, both of our utility lands were lethal. They're both Den and Shefet Dunes. 2 of our 3. Technically, Blinkmoth wasn't lethal. Yeah, and then, yeah, to add an extra layer of confusion, Pillar of Flame with Soulscar Mage out does not exile the creature because Pillar of Flame and Scorching Dragonfire are templated differently. Pillar of Flame reads, if a creature dealt damage by this spell would die, exile it. Whereas Dragonfire just says, exile that creature if it would die. So, Pillar of Flame and Modular and Soulscar Mage interact differently than Scorching Dragonfire, Modular, and Soulscar Mage interact. Honestly, especially from... I know it would make paper more difficult, and this is why they don't do it, but I really wish they would just update templating on things like that so they'd be consistent. Like, Pillar of Flame should be updated to be templated like Scorching Dragonfire is, if Scorching Dragonfire is how they want things to be templated now. In my opinion. That's actually true. Having a programming background makes understanding the mechanics of Magic the Gathering easier, because it parses like you would expect software to parse it. I talk about my Magic background a good deal on stream, but past just being a children's card game aficionado, I have a master's degree in mathematics. I've done a reasonable amount of process automation for a Fortune 50 company before I started streaming full-time as a gig. Contributed to a number of open source projects over the years. There's a bunch of old code up on my GitHub. Not super active on that anymore, but once upon a time, spent a lot of days there. Got a real scorcher over here. I'm just gonna play Thalia. Oh, Thalia, my Thalia. So do I play this? I think I Deckenstone this turn, because then next turn I can activate this in SOC 3. Do you have a GitHub link? I'm just Jeff Hoagland everywhere. It's super easy to find me. Thanks for the follow, Loki. First strike. First strike. Although, fun fact, yeah, not to be confused with the Olympic cyclist, who's also named Jeffrey Hoagland. If it wasn't for that damn cyclist, I'd have all the Google results, chat. There's also a Jeffrey Hoagland who has a PhD in something from the Netherlands, I believe, that occasionally pops up. Yeah, Python is great. Python was always my poison of choice when I was working on stuff. Little sad that I can't modular onto my thing here. That the country of origin for the name Hoagland, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Target Blinkmoth can include yourself on defense. Alright, go Gadget Creature Lands. We are at 4 here, so we're racing the top of their deck. Okay. Okay, that was a pretty good top of our deck. That's pretty punishing for not attacking with these last turn. Are they dead? So let's assume they can't do anything, right? Because I have a Thalia. So they go block a 3, block a 2, block a 2. They take 5. They take 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? So they go block a 3, block a 2, block a 2. Take 2, 4, 6, 7. Yeah, looks dead to me. Creature lands, ladies and gentlemen. Creature lands. Oh, and this is 3. I forgot this was 3, actually. Yeah, we're good. Oh, and we get another one from the Den of the Bugbear, too. Thanks for the follow, Altheon. Yep, over about 2. I love decks that get to play utility lands, Chip. They're my favorite. And honestly, while the red cards aren't terrible in this deck, getting to play Den of the Bugbear, I think Den of the Bugbear is probably the most aggressive of the new creature lands. So getting to play Den and Blinkmoth in the same deck gives you a lot of games like that where you get to push extra damage with resources you otherwise already had. Thanks for those follows, Spuddy and Rogo. Good afternoon. Yeah, the realm lands are basically all reasonable. Great. It's not in the stream queue currently, but we're gonna play Bant Restoration Angel as our third deck today. So this one, we've been going for about 45 minutes. We're gonna play this one for another 45 minutes to an hour, depending on how it goes. Then we're gonna wrap up with some Bant Resto. I want to ephemerate a Frilled Mystic, chat. Would you like to come on a journey with me where we ephemerate my Frilled Mystics? Oh, they're mono green. Okay, I was gonna say elves is probably hard for us. I don't know how mono green goes. Being on the draw here is tough. It's quite the color requirement. You're not wrong. Where's our meme squirrel pile? Just take this in. And the question is, do I want to Breya's Apprentice or Sacred Theme? I think I just Breya's here. And then with this draw, we could do this next turn and pump up real wide. So I'll get to draw another card this turn, but I'll get to eat the Pelt Collector. Seems like a fair trade. They might have like a Stomp, but a Stomp's gonna get something at some point anyways, so might as well get us now. Oh, wow. I forgot this could make red mana. Yikes. Well, shit. We got 4 lifelink here. if we do this? This maybe? So if I do this and they activate this, it becomes a 5. Should we put this in front of it too? So I'm going to gain 2 here before I take the second hit from this. I died a Stomp with this block. I just don't want to lose both my lifelinkers this turn. So I'm dead to a removal spell with this sequence, but I think it's correct. Okay, you left my Mouser alone. Deal. So I get to go Mouser into second. Shikari here. And then if they want to double block this, I get to kill the Pelt Collector and then put counters on here. I've got 5 power of First Strike over here now for their Embercleave creature. Rojo, thank you for the 3 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, they don't really have great attacks here, right? I think I just put them all in the same Mouser, right? Attack for 9. Pivot. Pivot. It's for the 19 months, Trombone. Welcome back. Is lifelink a good keyword, chat? It's a common, chat. It's a common. This is an uncommon? It's broken. So this is hitting for 10, -2. This will move 2 counters to here. This will be a 6. We'll gain 6. We'll kill the Pelt Collector. Yeah, nice first strike. Just like gain 15 on this attack, right? They could, this will be 6, excuse me, and then they'll give it +2 base power. So I think they have a lot of damage on the backswing here, chat. So they can give this +2 with its activated ability. And it gets 1 from this. So this is actually a 7-8. So this is 16 on its own. I think I'm just supposed to attack with these two, because these are lethal, and then we play Steel Overseer. I think is the plan. I think we just double Abyss them. Go to 27. Like they just take this hit, right? For 4. There's no reason for them to block it. Where's our Embercleave? Asking the real questions. It's been a sick game. We were on the draw this game too, right? My opponent was on the play. Yeah, we were on the draw. Sick. Ten, 14, no blocks. It's casual, no blocks in the 14 ball. Come on. Come on. Bring it. Why not pump the wolf there? I don't understand your question. Okay. So now I should attack with everything because they have to block these two here, and then this hits them, and then this is lethal next turn, so we have 3 lethal attackers next turn. I'm gaining 15, 18, maybe 21. And on the backswing, they're hitting for +2, +4, so this is 18, 22, 23, 24, 25. But I'm gaining 21, so I'm at 35, so they put me to 10. I think it's Shefet Dunes send because they can't kill me on the backswing. Well, if they layer, they can't pump the werewolf pack. So when I'm counting their damage there, I'm counting them making this +2 attack, which is more profitable than animating layer. Oh, did I miscount? 17, 21. All right, so they need 3 blockers here. We have 3 lethal attackers. Well, we're probably at more than 9 because they can't attack with everything. Because if they attack with everything, they die on the backswing. So I just counted to make sure if they hit us with everything, we don't die. And now they have to decide how they want to attack because they have to have 3 blockers. Anna Corette, thanks for the follow. Good afternoon. Three, 6, 9. Mouser's fine. Shefet Dunes gonna suck it to you one more time. Gaining life. Gaining life in this race now. It is worth noting we're slowly losing this race though, right? Because they do get to put more counters on their werewolf pack leader every turn, and they drew the removal spell for a Steel Overseer. The layer doesn't really matter, chat. So now I attack with these two. We trade. I put counters on here. We gain 15. Because there's no reason to attack with this one, because this one just gets eaten by the Pelt Collector on this board. Sentinel isn't an artifact. I'm gonna give you a 10-minute break to read Sentinel. So I think we're supposed to put counters on Sentinel here because it gives us 3 lethal attackers. It's close though, but I think this is correct. This means they have to hold back 3 blockers. It also means if they want to stop anything, we get to draw a card. I mean, just like for the record, Guardian, questions like that, Jeff, are there things you would change in the deck you're currently playing? The answer is like, no, because I'd make the changes. Am I supposed to block it? No, I think I just hope they don't have a creature here and they're dead. They have to have a 1 or 2 mana creature here or they're dead on board. This is my last chance of blocking. Yeah, the game is over, chat. Either they're dead or I'm dead. Narrator, we were dead. Or a land. Untapped land would have done it too. Yeah. So I gain 9 up to 27. And then I have a Bomat Courier as a blocker. No, there's no instance in my deck. So they have 21, 23. Yeah, I believe we're dead here. Almost beat the cleave on the draw. One life. Did I miss a point of damage somewhere? So close. We'd have been on the plate. We'd have easily won. don't know, Greaseball? Just go back and check the tape. Jeff, did you miss doing this thing? I don't know. Clearly I missed it if I did. So, comments like I just timed out Tugno for are just not helpful. So, like, and honestly, not only are they not helpful, but they'll also just make you a worse Magic player. So, you shouldn't look at a decision of putting counters on the Esper Sentinel losses the game. The question or the thing you need to go back and do is ask yourself, at the point in time where I put counters on Esper Sentinel, was I wrong to do that? Yes or no? And if yes, why was it wrong at the time with the information that I had? It's important to remember in a game like Magic that has a ton of variance by design, your percentage plays aren't always going to work out. And I'm not going to ever profess to always make the correct percentage plays, but like if you want to go back, you can't look at you will be a worse player if you look at your decisions after the fact and go, well, with the way this played out, that decision lost me the game. The question you need to ask yourself is, well, the way this played out, how likely was it to play out that way? And should I have played around it playing out that way based on how likely it was to happen? Yeah, it's easy to, like, look back with hindsight. In order to, like, make good decisions next time, you have to be able to look at it and go, oh, I made okay decisions at the time. Yeah, I just stop having the discussion with them, Jones. That happens very frequently, right? You're like, oh, well, we lost because it played out this way. And it's like, well, were we wrong to play it out that way? It's the question you want to ask yourself, not, oh, this decision lost us the game. Like, why was that choice the choice that we made? And in the context, you know, forcing them to have another creature or be dead, I think that was fine. I think having 3 lethal threats as opposed to having 2 gave us the better chance to win. I don't know. Yeah, it is what it is. It's a good lesson for just life in general too. You can make all the decisions and still lose in life. Just how it works. I'm going to keep this hand, because if this hand draws lands, it's very good. And if it doesn't draw lands, we'll have a much shorter game than the first one. Take one more turn at drawing a land, and then we'll go ahead and pack it in. That's all she wrote. I mean, if we had a Blinkmoth and play that game, would have been super easy, right? We'd just like put some modular counters on it and then moved along. And those are like, that match there just encompassed the highs and lows of Magic the Gathering, right? Just like incredibly sweet, interesting game, back and forth, lots of blocks that mattered, good combat decisions, and then mulligan, miss your second land drop and die. In hindsight, we should have mulliganed. Combat is fun. Combat is one of the best things about Magic the Gathering as a game. And the games of Magic that involve combat very heavily, like that first game we just played, are just some of the best the game has to offer. Which is why decks like Jeskai, both Control and Indomitable Creativity, are such shit terrible decks to play against. Because they don't involve combat at all, and most of your decisions don't matter, and you're just hoping they don't have Anger of the Gods or hoping they don't have their combo. And when they do, you die. When they do, you die. What are lands? Baby, don't hurt me. Don't hurt me no more. Thanks for the follow, Guardians. Is this a keep? No. Even if this hand draws lands, it's only okay. This hand also needs to specifically draw white lands to be somewhat reasonable. And especially at 7, our average 6 is likely to be much better. It almost sounds like you think limited is better than constructed. I actually dislike limited greatly because the combat decisions in limited, especially in low-powered limited formats, are usually very dry and uninteresting. A big part of what made that first game of Magic in that last set really good was the fact that there were a lot of high-powered cards involved that led to a bunch of really interesting choices being made. Cube is great. But, like, limited often just devolves into board states of two people staring awkwardly at each other, which isn't particularly fun or interesting, in my opinion. Jeskai. Do I want to lead on Esper Sentinel or Bomat Courier? Esper Sentinel is much better against Memory Lapse and Lapse. The answer to your question, tips for mulliganing, is it just depends on your matchup, it depends on your deck, it depends on your hand. There's so, like, you could literally write a book on the topic. There's just so many factors. Alright, I'm gonna cast the second Sentinel, so we draw 2 cards when they cast Anger next turn. So 25 months, meatballs, welcome back. I'll pre-order a copy when you write it. Unfortunately, there really isn't any money in writing stuff like that. The amount of time it would take me to put together good written content, I'm much better off just spending the same amount of time streaming on Twitch. In terms of the amount of return you get to the effort that you put in. Hey, thanks for the sub gift, Super Crud. Oh, you know what? I don't think I updated the sideboard in this deck after this creativity deck popped up. I don't have any Containment Priest in the sideboard, do I? It's definitely wrong. Alright, I'm just going all in. We're not going to beat a sweeper. See, the person that asked the question earlier, what would you change in the sideboard? When I realize it, we'll make the change. So, write down Containment Priest. We'll get that swapped out after we're done. How much of the sub fee goes to me? I get 70% of Twitch subscriptions, so I get $3.50 out of the $5.
Do you want it hot?
No.
Do you want both of them?
Yeah, I wouldn't say no. There's probably plenty in here for now. Yeah, this is fine. Love you. Hold up Bomat activation. I don't know that 3 random cards is better than these 2. Getting my tap land into play has some value. She brought me. We had Chipotle for dinner last night, and I'm very un-American, and I only eat half of my Chipotle when I get it, so I have the other half here for some lunch today. Alright, and now we can play this out and do this, and we can cash in some Bomat cards. Chipotle is actually pretty reasonably priced when it's 2 meals too, because it's like $8 for the bowl, so it's like $4 a meal for 2 meals. honestly could have been right here to let that Bomat trade and then Zaba destroy this to kill their 2 tokens. Actually, we're just dead now, right? So they have protection from creatures, which means they don't take damage from creatures. So, we're dead. I feel like I could just copy and paste every deck wrap up I do today. And that could just be, this deck was sweet and the games were fun, but you're not competitive against Jeskai, but if you concede to Jeskai, the rest of the matchups are fine. I feel like that has been the summary of basically every deck that we've played. Breya's probably not good here. We're not really looking to grind. They have sweepers that clear this out. We'll bring a Deck and Stone and a couple of Thalias and hope for the best here. We need some Containment Priest in the sideboard, but... To the person who mentioned Abrade to kill their creativity targets, look at that last game. They targeted 2 things. Removal is not good in this matchup if it can't kill the Angel. You also have a hard time holding up 2. So you can play Giant Killer too, but again, you have to have these things line up. And there's also a very big liability that you have to consider where you can't have too many reactive cards in your aggro deck in this matchup because you're just going to lose holding reactive cards and they'll beat you as a control deck. Their deck's power level comes largely from the fact that they are not a dedicated aggressive deck or dedicated combo deck. They're also an Anger of the Gods, Lightning Helix, Memory Lapse deck that'll just cast a Shark Typhoon and kill you that way. The more I see it play out, the more convinced I become that Indomitable Creativity will probably just never be healthy for this format. I think if you want an effect like Indomitable Creativity, Transmogrify is appropriate power level and offers something very similar while offering way more counterplay. So I don't think can you cheat? I don't think cheating out cards is necessarily inherently bad for the game, but I think cheating out cards with as little interaction as offered is a big deal. And the fact that it's so trivial for creativity to play around removal is what puts it over the top compared to other ones. Also, and this is a big thing too, the way creativity is templated, the fact that creativity gets around Craft Digger's Cage on top of getting around removal means that your normal means of counterplay just don't exist. And this is a good example too, right? We lost that first game because they combo killed us, But we did. The second game had nothing to do with the combo, right? They just decimated my fair tiny creature deck because they're an Anger of the Gods removal spell deck. So it's not just as simple as, well, Jeff, you put giant killers in your sideboard and deck in stones too, because you're not just trying to beat their combo deck. You also have to play a deck that's an efficient enough aggro deck to beat their control deck as well. They're essentially like the Jeskai control decks from previous seasons, only they have a combo kill in them now instead of just only killing you with old age. So in addition to being able to beat their control draw, you also have to be able to beat their combo draw. And it's just very difficult to do both of those things in most reasonable decks that are otherwise reasonable against everything else. Hey, Gog, thanks for the 14 months. I want to play one more match with this deck, and I don't want to play against Jeskai Tram, so I might have to concede a couple here to find a match, but I'm gonna play one more with this because this deck's been a ton of fun in the non-Jeskai matchups, and we're just gonna punt the Jeskai matchup. Like, that's gonna be my rule. We'll showcase one Jeskai matchup where we get stuffed in a box. The deck's much better than most of the things we're playing. And then we'll just play the other matchups that are fun and sweet, because I don't care about my rank. I don't play in the things that they qualify you for. This is the same opponent, right? The same opponent stuff is a huge quality of life detriment that really needs to be addressed sooner rather than later. In fact, the fact that it hasn't been a priority to fix, and it's been almost a week now, is big sad. Maybe they're dead, chat. Maybe they're dead. I do really want to play one more with this. Let's wait. Just give it a 60-second wait, so hopefully they queue into something else. %10 off one whole boosty. That's a bad deal for me. I'm pretty sure my Strixhaven set is full. $180 gems to get 20. Yeah. Oh no, Untapped is having server issues. I gotta check out Untapped to see what my thing was. It honestly could be worth it just to buy a 10% discounted pack so I can get one more pip towards my next wheel turn at a mythic wild card. Yeah, that's probably true. Right, turning 900 gold into 20 gems with Jeff Oakland. Nailed it. Reverse stonks, yep. Yeah, that's why I did it. It's 900 gold towards the wild card wheel. The reason we did it. BT dubs, if there's anybody hanging out that enjoys my variety stuff, this is gonna shock you, I'm sure, if you're familiar with Magic Arena, but Magic Arena was unable to pair matches for 2 hours this morning. So we're going to be playing Magic through the end of the stream today, and we played Psychonauts first thing this morning. So the Psychonauts session will be up on YouTube this evening as always, but it will not be this afternoon. We did it this morning. I, for one, couldn't believe that Magic Arena had downtime, had issues. I guess if I'm being completely honest, I was a little surprised they randomly had issues. They randomly had issues on a Tuesday. Around 4 a.m. last night, Arena just died. Wow. Psychonauts has been fun. The story rating in that game is just like tops. It's very good. All right, just any untapped land next turn, please. Any untapped land next turn, please. This is where the magic happens. So this is why we play 24 lands in our aggro deck, by the way. This deck's curve stops at 3 and we play 24. Against a starter deck? You think a starter deck is in Diamond? Or Diamond? Oh, I could have given Zaba flying. Thanks for pointing that out. I always forget that this card is text. Sure. Grow, my 1/1s, grow. I like how the matchmaker like queued us into Jeskai twice. They're like, nah, he needs a break. Let's get him in the starter deck queue. Cut this man some slack. He's struggling. Yeah, they announced when they put it up, Dazin, that the historic brawl queue would be permanent so long as people are using it. So I personally am I'm pausing. I had been intending to do Historic Brawl every day, but the Historic Brawl deck strength matchmaking is currently non-existent. It doesn't work, which has dampened my enthusiasm / enjoyment of that queue a significant amount. So we will be back to doing more Historic Brawl on this channel as soon as they finally fix that issue. So if you feel like your bad decks have been queuing into Golos and Winota and Omnath and friends more often, it's not you. That actually has been happening. There was an arena developer that commented on it on Twitter. They're aware of the issue. Tinfoil hat time. They broke the matchmaking to kill the queue. So, no joke, this was actually the worst draw in our deck, because it's a card that lets the second chapter of this have text here. If we would have just drawn a land or a creature, this would have only been a 1-for-1, and now it 2-for-1s us. They're a little bit grindier than I was expecting. Perhaps we want 4-mana Chandra in these post-board games. Source card advantage. When will we get confirmation from the arena devs that they're considering deck pairings in all their formats when you're finding a match? Never, because that's paranoid bullshit. Stop it. I think you spend too much time on Reddit if you think that's the case. Speaking as someone who's played an incredible amount in arena, like, stop it. And an incredible range of decks while playing an incredible amount of arena. Don't believe everything you read on the internet, chat. For the love of God, put the horse dewormer down. It's not going to save you. Get vaccinated. Return the horse dewormer to the pet supply store. Please. I am in fact an anti-paster. God, fuck, that hurts to say. Chat, that shouldn't be something I have to say, chat. They just aren't words that should come out of my mouth. I am in fact a confirmed anti-paster. Alright, I can pay white to give this flying, right?
I'll see myself out.
Can't trust a Hoagland, who can you trust? Thanks for the 2 months of Prime. And I mean, if we're being honest, you shouldn't trust me either. You should go talk to your local physician. Ask your local physician if you should inject yourself with horse dewormer. Don't listen to me, random shitter here on Twitch. I would love to have a giant Nexus. Thank you.
I adore an audience.
I mean, to be fair, your local veterinarian, unless they're trying to sell you some excess stock, will probably also tell you not to inject yourself with horse dewormer. Curse Tag, thanks for the 19 months. Welcome back. We appreciate it. So like, no joke, Dysphoria. I would actually wager a good amount of money that part of the reason we have the anti-vax, anti-intellectual phenomenon in the United States today, and other parts of the world too, especially in the US, is because of people's inability to have access to healthcare professionals on the regular. Poor little Nexus champ. Rawr. Just trying to end this game. Big part of it started when Al Gore wanted to address climate change. You know, I often wonder what the parallel universe where the Supreme Court didn't decide the outcome of the Gore versus Bush, what that looks like. It's probably wild. Oh, so let's just pump out devils every turn. No, we've not played Enchantress. We haven't had any submissions for that. I guess I should just attack them, right? Because the Spore is lethal. I'm going to animate this, so that way this counter goes on to here. Maybe. There's a real chance we wouldn't have ended up in Iraq and Afghanistan if Bush hadn't been president. Nothing's 100% obviously, but... That's true. That's probably a butterfly effect. Paragon. If Gore happened, Obama probably doesn't happen. Time travel and different parallels are weird in that way. Alright, so... we just do this for 2 turns, right? We have a 2-2 now. Are you dead yet? They technically survive if any of their creatures die here, but can they put up enough damage to force me to do that? So this can give everything an attack. So they can like animate Den, give everything an attack, and this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh yeah, am I dead? No, we're okay because I can block Den of the Bugbear, right? So I block this here, and then they gain a life, but the Blinkmoth gets to get modular tokens. Creature lands are so good, shit. That's basically been the theme of this set. Like the number of close, sweet games that we won on the back of like having Blinkmoth and Den of the Bugbear in our mana base is just so many. Yeah. So to give somber, concise wrap up, like I joked about earlier, I feel like this deck fits into the mold that I've talked about a lot of decks fitting into today, which is against the various creature decks in the format, this deck felt like it played sweet, close, interesting games. And against Jeskai, it felt like they chewed us up and spit us out. And I don't really think that there's things we can do in the post-board games to make that matchup meaningfully better. We're cold to them putting their combo creature into play quickly. Anger of the Gods and Lightning Helix beat us up. Like, yeah, it's just, so. Dodge Jeskai control and you'll have a good time. Be willing to concede to Jeskai control and you'll have a good time. I am interested in trying some other Tempered Steel variations in the format. Like, I by no means think this one is necessarily the best. There's a lot of directions to build this in, but this definitely feels like a somewhat reasonable place to start. All right.